Hi, YouTube. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, all my non-binary friends. Welcome on through. We're going to get started with the amazing digital circus. We're going to jump into one of the merch vids, followed by episode number 4. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for coming on through. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, that whole ordeal. And with that, I want to start off by asking you a question. How big of an amazing digital circus fan are you guys? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big are you? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being absolutely like, the max, 1 being 10 out of 10, 10 for sure, a good 8. Would you guys say you're able to go ahead and recognize like the amazing digital circus characters anywhere? There are certain things that are very relevant to racing 10 and 6. I'd say so. Like, yeah, so like for example, if someone was wearing a Kinger outfit out and about, you'd be able to recognize it, or like a Pomni outfit, or like if they had like little figurines or stuff like that, very recognizable faces. Of course, because of the undertones, I definitely want to be friends with them. I just got back because right now, Ted, I'm totally go to absolutely. Well, that's interesting because sometimes I think like, we see the characters and we see them like, like I guess we fall in love with the characters, with the storyline, with everything that's there, you know. Um, and we really start like making them a part of our everyday life, our everyday routines, like part of our families essentially. So I bring it up as a way to go and showcase how sometimes we can really relate to a lot of these characters and like learn and grow from it and do like 101 things. But with that, I find it interesting, and those of you guys that know, congratulations. Those of you that don't, someone's staring at us, chat. Someone is staring at us, chat, and they've been staring at us from the beginning of stream. Interesting that some of you were able to recognize, yeah, that's a little sus out there. They lurk in the shadow. Yeah, absolutely. You can't. Thank you, Murasaki. Thank you. You could really even see the background, to be honest. Pomni has been back there just staring at you guys, as you guys said you were 10s and 9s and 8s and whatnot. And Pomni's eye just there. I guess we're all fake fans, brothers and sisters. I guess we're all fake fans. No, thank you so much, Tree. I really appreciate it. Tree sent me over a Pomni plushie, and I have them back there to enjoy everything that we got, which is absolutely adorable, absolutely phenomenal. It's literally black. Well, that's sort of where it comes in. It means the absolute world. It's creating a black hole. Exactly. We already have a black hole right up here. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and all my non-binary friends, let's jump right into it. We do have a special here. Let's do it. It is Kinger's special place. Actually, before we jump into this, I know I stated, but I always have to restate it because for some reason it goes out one year and it goes out other people's ears. Again, this is an analysis stream. This is not about predictions, not about anything like that. People, unfortunately, media literacy is a lost art for a lot of people. And being like, for example, all I do day in, day out is analyze people, analyze events, analyze you name it, right? That's pretty much all I do day in, day out is analysis. So for some individuals, you might be like, Ed, how do you catch on to things so quickly? Again, all I do 24/7 is analysis, right? And in case you're wondering, okay, but does that work on like every other series? There's been stuff where I've done phenomenally well, and stuff where my analysis was definitely overcooked to the point of it being burnt, right? But for the most part, right? Again, psychology is the study of the mind and behaviors, right? And we have to understand that, right? Ultimately, we as humans write characters to ultimately follow behavioral patterns and or patterns that are cyclical. So ultimately, when we point stuff out, it comes to that. Now, when it comes to those elements and you're like, oh my god, but that aligns so well with what might happen in the future. Cool, I don't know that, right? I'm going off of what a good writer would do, and what a person that like understands behaviors, and what a good like normal behavior would look like for the most part. And that's the main thing about it. Is ultimately you just have to like understand that there's differences in it. Like for me, analyzing, breaking stuff down is my profession, is my job. Being able to go ahead and relate that to people and all of that. exactly. Even if we get our minds cooking, even if we undercook. But I just want to go ahead and highlight that once again is ultimately, again, the main purpose of this whole channel is to analyze the characters. And I hope you guys have been enjoying your meals. I hope that you guys have been enjoying the analysis so far. I've received a lot of amazing things. I've also received some not so amazing things, which, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it happens in any series, but still, it doesn't discourage me from the overall beauty and amazingness that this show is. Alrighty, let's keep going, shall we? This is Kinger's Special Place. Let's do it. Oh. What? Oh God, wait. There's a sweater? Oh. Oh. Oh.
What are we doing here?
Pommy, I brought you here because, well, I've been struggling a little lately.
Whoa, hey, Kinger, what's wrong?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Hey, Kinger, you're strong.
Oh.
And I know you can get through this.
They literally made trauma socks. Oh my goodness. Hold on. They literally made a trauma socks. I love how they bring up yeah. Well, with that, I do gotta say though, I'm surprised, and I can't even imagine what it must be like for Kinger to be in this environment, right? Where ultimately the person that he cared for, ended up abstracting and, ended up being put down there or wherever it is, right? Imagine being in that level of like, you might be losing your sanity, you might be losing your mind, you can't really understand or get rest or whatever that may be, and you're still trying to process the grief of it, right? Like, what would that do to you? We're selling merch of your trauma, Kinger. Exactly. That's ooh. They're called, what are they called? Checkmate socks?
I don't think that's possible.
Why?
Because how am I supposed to wear these without legs?
You don't have legs. Your plushie looks pregnant.
Pommy, why would you say that?
That wasn't
What?
Never mind.
What?
Maybe you can wear one of the socks on your lower half?
That might work.
Hey. Hey!
Oh, this is the best thing that's ever happened to my lower half.
What should I do with the other sock? Give it to your scary monster friend. Oh, Jesus. They made a cute plushie out of that thing?
Is it real, chat? Did they actually make a cute plushie out of the... Yes! Ugh!
Hello, Angel wants to show you ugly and cute merch of TADC Episode 3. Here, the funny little chest men hang for his life on this plush keychain. His pathetic. This tote bag with Kinger and frolicking and butterflies. Within bag, you can carry naughty little damn souls or even bottles of clam
Naughty
chowder.
little
Here we
damn
have socks.
souls. What the...
Naughty little damn souls or even bottles.
A chunky clam chowder, yummy.
Clam chowder. Here we have socks. If you have feet and want to wear your dead wife's socks on them, then it's perfect. Yeah, married feet. Now a notebook to writing down your biggest regrets down in, with little guys trapped in the pages. Watch them dance like dance people. Big Sad Jester Girl plush, because small Sad Jester Girl wasn't Big Sad Jester Girl plush enough. Next, look at this jacket to place an arms and torso in.
What? Yeah,
also
the TikTok
with Sad Jester on the front, embroidered with to stop her from escape. Ani mates, Kinger, and Zubul. If you throw them at wall, they breaks into pieces probably. And there's also me, the Angel Glow in Dark, the Angel Decapitate Head, and Angel
I am so scared. Like, these merch vids are amazing, but I'm also like, what the fuck?
hangs on things. Wow. Going to digitalcircus.store for all of it. Remember this, purchases makes Angel happy.
Question for you guys, and this might be abstract, and maybe you, I know the screaming and whatnot, right? Maybe you know, maybe you don't. I don't know. How does a creator, like, is the creator kind of trolling? Like, is the creator kind of trolling with the community, or like, you know, are they always probably 100%? Because my instinct is usually there's a part of the creator, like, you know, pretty much a lot of things, like, might not be everything, right? Yes, that's the fun. They have to pay for the animation somehow. They say they often lie and troll. Creators messing with the community is more common than you'd think. And how does it, well, I guess one thing is the creator that way with the community? And the second part is, does the creator like the community? I think that's the second part that I have here. Because sometimes a creator can really like enjoy the community that they're in, right? And troll them. And then sometimes it's like the community takes a life of its own and the creator wants to like distance themselves, you know? Recently, you doubt it. Yeah, it makes me wonder how much pressure they're in. Not gonna lie. Like, it makes me wonder, like, for them as an individual, especially as they're getting close to, like, what is it, like episode 9, which is the ending of the series, correct? How are they taking that? Because that can be quite a bit, especially the expectations from what the community believe or want, or sometimes even the fanfic that the community might create, you know? And as a creator, I'm assuming that that's gonna be quite a bit of pressure. You know, that's what I'm assuming, is that's quite a bit of pressure to try and live up to everyone's expectations, knowing full well that you're probably going to let people down, you know? Exactly. I feel like ultimately they just need to tell it however they want to tell it. There was something that recently happened. Oh. She's stressed out from trying to make the ending perfect, but she's currently taking time for herself. I mean, yeah, that's important. She had a huge public breakdown. A drama. Wait, what? What happened? She deactivated. Oh,
Not mad. Bye.
I love little videos like this, but it also, I don't know. Whenever I look at videos like this, like merch videos, they're fun, right? But it also showcases a little bit more of the connection that we've seen, right? Yeah, if you have info on that, Blake, please send it on over. I'd really appreciate it. Because overall, I gotta say, so far, if this ever lands in, like, you know, the creator's desk or whatnot, or, you know, she ever stumbles on it, or they ever stumble on it, like on YouTube or whatnot, just know that I am so incredibly impressed at the world that you've managed to create. And ultimately, this is your world, right? You know, this is your world, no one else's. Like, yes, you do have a community that lives and dies for the characters, but these are your characters at the end of the day, and this is your story to tell. And color me impressed that, like, you've managed to hook a lot of people in by the depth that the characters have and how amazing that is. And I'm only a couple episodes in, but nonetheless, like, color me impressed at the level of detail and care that you've put into creating this world. That's fantastic, you know. Keeps winning.
I brought you here because, well, I've been struggling a little lately.
Whoa,
Because I'm looking at this, right? And I'm looking at all the, like, imagine this, right? You reference a part in a previous episode, right, before the merch vid, as to what happened, and boom, it gets turned into a merch item. I don't know. I think that would be quite a bit. Also, well, before we jump into this, I love the connection because we definitely saw Palmy and Kinger connect in the past episode. So the fact that they're still connecting even in the merch vid is absolutely awesome. Kinger has my heart. Kinger has my soul. Kinger is absolutely amazing and deserves nothing but all the love and support. Awesome little merch vid. Honestly, I'm loving the merch vids. But before we jump into the full video, I was sent this, which is essentially talking a little bit about the creator here, Gooseworks. I'm so stressed all the time. I want to feel creative passion again. I'm trying my hardest to make this show good. I'm sorry about anything I said on streams. I really don't want to hurt anyone. Oh, what happened? Well, first off, yeah, I can't even imagine like all the stress, everything that's coming through with it, you know, expectations, self expectations, others' expectations of them. That's a lot, dude. It is a lot. And I feel like oftentimes people don't really have empathy, or they think they might have empathy when a creator is like crashing out and stuff, but it can be for quite a bit, you know? The internet, cancel culture. Oh, why? Why? Oh, if it contains spoilers, don't tell me, but I'm just like, sorry for the breakdown earlier. Honestly, I haven't been behaving very professional on social media. So I think I need to I honestly I think I need to step back from it and reevaluate my priorities. To clarify, this isn't really about criticism. You should be able to criticize the show without feeling guilty. I had a lot building up in my mind, combined with intense burnout and pressure to make the finale perfect. In the end, I'm the one who snapped, so I should reflect. Wow. Here's the thing though, is I think it was something about people who are very loud and complaining and attacking about character screen time. I can be wrong. Is this post episode 7? Well, I don't know where this is, but where this is at. This is just sent to me, you know. But I do agree with this. Ultimately, people should be able to criticize. You know, there should be a level of healthy criticism, right? However, what's not healthy criticism is when people want their expectations to be met and not wherever the creator wants to take it at, right? So for example, if people really loved, I don't know, Kinger, right? I'm a huge Kinger fan. However, do I expect Kinger to be at the forefront of every adventure? No, that would be unrealistic, right? I think for the most part, this whole like we're coming through with the narrative of what I believe to be Pomni and maybe another character out there, right? But for the most part, I'm centering in on the fact that like, hey, this is pretty much like from what I'm gathering, a Pomni at the forefront adventure. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, right? But for me to expect like Pomni and Kinger to be at the forefront would be unrealistic in that expectation or in that aspect, you know, especially if there's threats or there's whatnot happening, you know. 1 in 100 who isn't being cool about it. It's a million, and that's a lot of hundreds. True, 2 pods and a P. 100%. 100%. Again, apologies. Just happened earlier. I wasn't feeling the greatest, and I'm still not feeling that good. You know, 3-minute ads. Yeah, sometimes people create head canons. They believe so much that when the canon events turns out different, they feel like a betrayal to them. Yes, 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 and that's a scary thing to be in. You know, that's a scary thing to be in. I can't. Yeah. All right, y'all ready for the next one? To reiterate, I was not harassed off of Reddit. I had a breakdown from other stuff that had been building up over the past few months. The ending of this show isn't changing. The ending of the show isn't changing. It's still going to play out exactly how it was planned from the beginning. I'm fine. Seriously. Ooh. Ooh. Now that's scary. That's a scary thing to hear a creator like come through and have to reclarify. Like trust me, burnout will do. I've gone through moments of burnout, you know. Burnout will definitely push that on you and will definitely do that to you in some capacity, you know. I'm just like, wow. I'm just like, wow. Imagine being in their shoes. How do you explain something that the community doesn't like, but you feel is your true vision to this show without being hated? How do you do that? How do you come on through and showcase to a community, sounds horrible. Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, imagine get like I'm not sure if they got any sort of threats, but imagine getting. I mean, I've gotten threats over Undertale Deltarune, over analysis of characters or saying that I liked a certain thing over another, or people, trying to jump through and being like, you're pre-playing, pre-watching, and it's like, how, where, right? And it's like if I get death threats and silly threats over silly little things, I can't imagine the amount of a community out there, as 2Ps was pointing out, the amount of hundreds out there that would. She got doxxed, and she got doxxed. Ooh, yeah, that would terrify me. Please remember, boundaries are important to have. Ultimately, everyone's living a different outcome or a different aspect in life. That can be very scary. Absolutely. Absolutely. Regardless, I wish them nothing but the best. You know, I hope that they're in a better place at the moment because, yeah. You played it during a way better time, did I? Oof. Hey, all. We've seen some of the recent posts online surrounding the digital circus and its community and wanted to take a moment to address it. Right now, there's a lot of noise online, and we know it can be exhausting and really makes something you enjoy feel darker than it really is. However, when we think of our fans, we think of the artists pouring their hearts into every piece of fan art, the cosplayers bringing these characters to life in ways that genuinely move us, the people who show up to every discussion in thoughtfulness and heart, and the ones who have built something genuinely special here. You are what this community is really about. The majority of the fandom is made up of people just like you. We've had the privilege of meeting many of you at conventions and across social media, and what we've found is a fandom full of kind, creative, and passionate people who genuinely care about the stories we tell. This is truly what defines this fandom. We've also seen an enormous amount of love and support from many of you for Goose since this has unfolded, and this meant the world to her and us. She really feels supported. And what we've all built around this show, the friendship, art, and conversations is all real and what really matters. Take a moment and be kind to yourselves and each other. This community means something special to us, and we love you all. The Glitch team. This is awesome. This is awesome. At least it showcases it like, hey, you know what? There might be some dark situations or stuff happening out there, but just know that like we support you, we love you, we're here for you. Thank you. Keep being you. Don't let the negativity bring you down in any capacity. That is cool. That is absolutely amazing to go ahead and see. You know. All right, let me go ahead and load this one up. All right, loaded. I wish people remember that for every. Me too. Me too. All right. What is this show, chat? Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema is what this show is. And I hope you're ready for this because we're going to get started with a little bit of some whiteboard. Whiteboard time. And talk a little bit about the characters here. The character, if we do say so myself. And let's talk a little bit about what the difference is between empathy versus sympathy. Can anyone tell me? Thank you so much for following me, Lottie. I appreciate it. Can anyone tell me what the difference is between empathy versus sympathy, and how this can be? As when you relate, sympathy is pity. Empathy is relating. Okay, so spare the sympathy. Empathy is understanding, feel versus understand versus what other people feel. The best way for me to put it, right, is empathy is relating. Sympathy is where you feel bad. Sympathy is feeling someone's pain versus understanding someone's pain. Empathy is feeling. Sympathy is feeling for, feeling with. Yep, I like that. That's a really good way of putting it. With, feeling for. But here's a real one to put it, right? I understand what you're going through. Wow, that sounds like quite a bit. I know exactly what you're going through. I can't possibly imagine what you're going through. I can relate from my experiences and just know that I'm here for you, okay? Is there a difference? When people tell you that they understand what you're going through, is that sympathetic or empathetic? Someone's like, I understand exactly what you're going through. Is that sympathy or empathy? And there's a reason I'm doing this. Right. Because they don't really know what you're going through. No one does. No one does but you. Right? And that's the truth. No one understands what you're going through but yourself. Because ultimately, it's trying to make you feel better. Empathy is connecting with another individual from your emotions to relate to them, from your experiences to relate to them, right? That is more being truthful than actually saying that you're there, right? Does not feel good. Yeah, does not feel good. True empathy would be giving them the space. Absolutely, absolutely. So the reason why I highlight this is whenever we look at these characters so far, what do we see? Is Kinger sympathetic or empathetic? I know we're gonna go through this, and there's a reason why we're going through this, and there's a reason why I'm scared. I think Kinger is empathetic, absolutely. Pomni, empathetic or sympathetic or both? Both. Interesting. Jax. Sympathetic, empathetic, both, neither. So far from what we've seen. Interesting. Ragatha. People are like, simp. Neither. Simp, sympathetic. All right. Gangle. Oh, that's a tough one. They certainly feel a lot. They're certainly very emotional, but have we seen them showcase it? Yeah, Gangle's distressed. Neither. Empathetic. Neither. Both. Neither. Not enough information. NA. All right, we can put. They have a lot of feelings, but I've never seen them. I think they're more withdrawn. Okay, so we can put NA at the moment, right? Because we don't know. What about Zubul? Empathetic. E, empathetic. Both. Tad more empathetic. So empathetic leaning, but probably both. Okay. With Kinger, she prepared for the funeral. I feel like Kinger is both too. I mean, they can be. They can be leaning with both. That's totally normal. I mean, a lot of us go through this. Like, if you're empathetic all the time, I'd be kind of concerned. So we're doing this, chat. You ready? This is going to be a long one, and I hope you guys stick with me for this, because this is ultimately how we understand it. For Kinger, what attachment style do they have? Over Splat, welcome on through. What attachment style is Kinger's attachment style that we've seen so far? Ooh. Are they secure, anxious, a little bit dismissive, a little bit fearful? Does he avoid making connections? Does he fear being rejected? Now, attachment styles, hold on. Attachment style does not mean that he can't be anxious. Let me throw that out there, right? There are a lot of people who are emotionally attached and secure in their relationship, but very anxious individuals, you know, like just in general. So I want you to separate both items here, right? We're talking about the way that he connects with other people. Yes. Think about, like, what is he at his core? Exactly. Secure. Okay. What about Pomni? We're going through this list, and we're going through this list for a reason. I am scared for one individual in particular here. He's there for a lot of people, but a lot of people don't give him the opportunity for there to be here. Pomni. Is Pomni secure, or is she anxious? Is she avoidant? Cool. Pomni is anxious in your opinion. People are saying that Pomni is anxious, fearful. You think that she fears being rejected? Like, you know, Pomni is anxious, you feel like. Secure. Pomni seems secure, but I don't know. It could also be fearful. I mean, we could always go into this one. At least for these, we can always go into this. So we can put secure. That's fine. What about Jax? I know we're working through these characters, and it's awesome because you guys are going to see my mind at work and how everything comes together and how my mind conceptualizes all of these individuals. Avoidant, dismissive. I'm saying that. Okay. Ragatha? Ragatha? You see, instantly jumps through and it's like either anxious or fearful. Jax is avoidant. Couldn't even attend the funeral openly. Fearful, anxious or fearful. Is she very dependent and trying to keep up an image, strong fearing rejection, might have low self-esteem, has high anxiety inside of the relationships of losing those relationships, or, you know, not people pleasing enough to be in those relationships? Hard fearful? Okay, so fearful. Avoidant, fearful. Okay. Gangle. Thank you so much for working through with me. Guys, in a big way, we're creating a case study together, okay? We're creating multiple case studies together. And this is a type of work that a good clinical oversight, right, supervisor, whatnot, will work through with their case managers, therapists, whatnot. They'll gather all the information needed to be able to go ahead. It's a group study and understand sort of what the needs are, how to best assist them, and what issues may come up in the future, you know? Exactly. Anxious for Gangle? What do you think? Gangle's 100% anxious. I'm trying to get your guys' brain to start thinking. All right, and Zubul. Is Zubul secure? Is Zubul dismissive? Is Zubul kind of like, you know, maybe taking a step into secure, but at the same time being dismissive? it could be a mixture, right? Because you can be a little ambiguous where you still don't fully understand it, right? Or it might be like a mix at the moment, sort of in between. Zubul. Sure. Sure. So let's go ahead and put that there. All right, y'all ready for the next one? Telling you. I hope y'all are okay with doing this group study with me here. Or group study question here. We're going back up. How easy is it to for one person to switch? So here's the thing, Logic Cube. We as human beings shift, right? Sometimes we might be very secure, right? Exactly. It's a spectrum. We might be very secure in a relationship. Like, let's say Pet Shop and I are dating, right? And we're in a very happy romantic relationship and we're very secure. And all of a sudden, something happens, right? And I don't know, Pet Shop ends up cheating on me. What do you think that would do to me as an individual? Like, do you think that I would start forming secure attachment styles, or am I going to struggle at like forming? I didn't realize we were going pop. I know, right? Or do you think I'm going to struggle forming and keeping secure attachment styles, right? And that's the thing, is like life takes us through journeys. Sometimes growing up, our parents kind of showcase our first attachment style. Are they there for you? Are they a secure attachment or not? Right? Is dad not there for you, or mom not there for you, or grandparents, or whoever the caregiver is? And so you've learned to be avoidant because sometimes you crying out for help meant that you got punished, meant that you got called annoying. So you learn to be a wall, a fly on the wall, and not say your needs, and try and people please in order for people to not leave you. And sometimes, be overly there for others when others aren't overly there for you. And sometimes you've grown up with that mentality, right? Of like, hey, you know what? And whenever I try and get my needs met by my caregivers or by my parents, I was always reprimanded. I was always scolded. I was always told I was annoying. I was always told that it was too much. I was always told that, like, hey, you know what? Your siblings matter more than you do. I'm always proud of your siblings, but for you, right, even though you showcased more, or maybe you did just the right amount, there was never that, hey, you know what? Great job. I'm proud of you. I'm here for you. I love you, right? And so deep down inside, we've internalized a lot of these matters. And growing up, by the way, attachment is one of my specialties. And growing up, we start going into a lot of relationship with these unmet needs and trying to get them met in some capacity, right? In some capacity, even though externally we might present a mask of like, hey, look at me, I'm this person, whatnot. Deep down inside, we're crying and we're craving for an attention, for a need to be met. And that is exactly why we do this, because ultimately we're trying to go ahead and understand this, and also to help you maybe understand yourself a little bit better, right? Take this purpose, and if you identify with a lot of the aspects that we're touching on, seek a mental health professional in your area that is able to help you out, right? But the main regard, and the reason why I highlight this, is guess what? Because as you've grown and you've loved and you've formed new friendships and attachments that maybe were secure, you've also learned how to change, and you've gone into secure attachments and out of them and back and out, right? And it goes in like a cycle of waves, Ooh, sorry, chat. I hope that kind of explains it a little bit. Pretty much, right? I hope that helps, Logic Cube. It's one of those things where I feel like often a lot of individuals, a lot of psychology professors and other professionals in the area, a lot of professionals in the area don't actually take the time to explain, so people get misinformed and think that there's only one attachment style, right? And that's like their only attachment style throughout life, but that's not true, right? And that's sort of why I showcase, like, if I was in a relationship and I got cheated on, am I going to struggle to make a full healthy relationship? Probably, right? It's for a little bit, or other ways, right? You could take this in 101 manners. Anyway, up next, any other questions? Please ask. This is how you get my frame of thinking and how professionals think. And that way you're able to go ahead and use it as we start analyzing and as we start making some of the analysis as to environments, what this can lead towards in the future, so on, so forth, What does a spectrum really mean? A spectrum essentially means, right, that, for example, how many of you have heard, oh, we could talk about Cain. Cain is a whole other beast, right? Well, we'll touch on Cain. A spectrum basically means that there's different levels to it, right? For example, people say I'm sad, but there's different levels of sad, right? It's like, hey, you know what? I'm sad as in just like I need to get it off my chest. I'm sad as in like, hey, you know what? Today's been a rough day. I'm sad as in like, you know what? Like I'm struggling to get out of bed. I can't like I haven't washed myself clean, done anything. I've been rotting in bed for a long time. I feel as though there's no purpose in life. I'm depressed. Like there is a giant spectrum as to what sadness can be, right? Going from just stating the word all the way towards like the fundamental aspects and or extremes. But what about if someone is raised in a secure, happy environment, but it gets completely removed? That is called displacement, right? Through it's a trauma if there's a major event like a fire or something like that. It can absolutely be traumatic. But there's something called displacement, and this is one of the main reasons that I was highlighting this. Displacement in general or displacement trauma. Imagine this: silly kitty here, right, who mentions the spectrum of colors, they're right now they're chilling in bed or they're watching the stream in their computer room or wherever they're at, and all of a sudden I clap my hands and they're in the amazing digital circus alone. No one's around them. Kane's not even there. How traumatic would that be for a person? Why would Ed do this? Oh, I've been mentioned. Yeah, you were mentioned. You were just there, so I had to mention you. Exactly. It would be very traumatic. It would be very traumatic for any individual. And that's the main regard is whenever you think about displacement in general, it is a trauma filled, right? And ultimately it means that your hierarchy of needs, which we're about to get to, is being fundamentally cracked. So whenever I think about Gummy Goo, yeah, like Gummy Goo going under the map, right? Exactly. Or some of these other individuals all of a sudden like coming and going into adventures and going into stuff like this. Kane might not be knowing that they're causing more trauma than anything else, you know? Oh my goodness. It's allergy season here. Shit. All right. So, for Kinger, what is the area that you feel they need the most help in? Oh, Yaron, trust me when I say the triangle is extremely important because this actually showcases everything. Even inside of a digital area, you still need your base needs met, especially if you're there, right? Because guess what? If you're just going by it alone, it would absolutely affect you, right? So let's go with Kinger first. Where do you feel they are at in this triangle of needs or that they need help with? I love how chat goes silent. That's how you know you're hitting on some elements here. Everyone in Circus has some areas of red. But yeah, I was about to say everyone has had their safety and physiological needs affected. Yes. Is he getting enough sleep, chat? Or rest or ability to think properly? Is he in an environment where he's able to actually be himself at 100%? Not always. So then that's being challenged, right? So then probably red yellow is what I'm hearing from a lot of you. Red yellow. They all barely have any autonomy, right? What about Pomni? Yeah. Doesn't have food, sleeps. He only gives off the sensation of eating. What about Pomni? Where are they at? She needs purple. the difference between here's the thing. Some people already have the sex aspect met, which is in general like think about my whole asexual crew out there, right? That's already a need that is instinctually or inherently met for them, right? For a lot of individuals in the like standard deviation of the population, sex is a base need, right? That like it could either be self sex, whatever that may mean for them, or they need that aspect met, right? It's kind of like some people, it's one of the most basic needs out there: food, water, sleeping, so on and so forth, right? Sexual intimacy is that connection that you have with someone, right? That you're able to go ahead and share with someone some of those private, more intimate moments. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's connected with sex, right? But it's you're able to connect with someone on a level, right? Yeah. Anyway, hope that helps a little bit. Pomni was just thrown into the circus. She's slowly starting to become more secure with her environment and with people. So people are saying green. Okay, so you guys are saying green, yes? For Pomni is what I'm saying. People are just saying red, green. That's okay. They can be in between. Red, green. I'm saying red. I'm saying green. I'm saying red, green. Intimacy without the adjective on it. Yeah, exactly. But since this is a what is it like? You always try to stick with the original theorems. That's one of the big aspects, right? Knowing should be messed. 3 is she's finding more connections. Exactly. All right. What about Jax? What about Jax? I'm gonna say green. I see the red yellow aspects, but one of the big things that's become very apparent is the avoidant disconnect with others. I would definitely say safety and physiological, but it's become very very apparent the immediate disconnect with others. So I'm gonna put red, yellow, green as the main one. Yeah, some of the others as well. Ragatha. Ragatha. Do you think that they need a lot of like they're looking for friendship, self-esteem, confidence, achievement? I'm saying green purple, That's sort of where I'm at with it. I don't know if y'all would agree with me on this, where it feels as though they're looking for that, that friendship aspect while at the same time trying to go ahead and build up. Yeah. Where like green is still the priority, but they're still looking for that like, ability to connect with others, right? Green purple is good. Okay, green purple. Okay. Gangle. Well, what about Gangle? Red, purple. Y'all are giving me some wild numbers here. Yellow, maybe red, green. Red, pink, green. She doesn't have control over her happy mask. She doesn't have anyone to talk to. So I'm gonna put red, green because that's where it seems a lot of you are going into. All right, Zubul. Red. Yep, security of body being the big one that we've seen so far. Awesome. I know we're going through this, so we're really really going through this. Um. D, 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 D. All right, for cognitive distortions now. What cognitive distortions have we seen Kinger do, chat? We could say all of them have been affected by yellow in some capacity. Absolutely, right? From the past ones. But for Kinger, what are the cognitive by the way, we all have cognitive distortions in some capacity, right? Some more than others. Again, it's a spectrum. Do you think that they do mental filtering? Where they're either disqualifying the positive mental filtering, overgeneralizations, jumping to conclusion, catastrophizing, personalizing or blaming. It's hard to remember sometimes. If there's none, there's none. You guys could be like none. Maybe fortune telling? People are saying catastrophication. Okay, here we go. Catastrophizing. Quite fit the bill? Could be. Could be that none of them fit the bill at the moment. That's okay. To fully grasp any of this. Do you think that sometimes... Ah! Oh my god! Ah! We're all gonna die! Whoa! Right? There's also minimization, right? Oh, it's okay. We'll just shoot it, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're at the 100% stable state of mind when they're doing it, right? But it's still a cognitive distortion if someone is catastrophizing or being startled a lot or jumping to conclusions in an aspect. All right, Pomni. Kinger does kind of when he's not, yeah, when he's not in touch. Exactly. Hold on, my cap fell for my finger. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hello? I don't know. I don't know where it went. Alrighty. Pomni is for sure a catastrophizer. Okay, awesome. Death catastrophize. Okay. What about Jax? Have we seen anything from Jax? Catastrophication, mental filtering. Minimization. Blaming. Placing blame on the issues of your partner instead of you taking accountability, or both of you. Okay. What else? Is that it? That's awesome. All right, Ragatha. No worries, Marceau. I appreciate you. Have a good one. Be safe. What about Marceau? Oh, not Marceau. What about Ragatha? Mind reading? Yeah, immediately tried to go ahead and, jumping to the conclusion that like they already have an opinion on you. Mental filtering? Sure. Mental filtering. Polarized thinking? Yeah, Ragatha has a lot. Ragatha has a lot, actually. Remember, this is how we interpret the world. This is what cognitive distortions do. Cognitive distortions showcase how we're full on, like, how the world is, we're interpreting the world around us. All right, Gangle. I'm only putting a couple in there. Overgeneralization. 2 P's, 1 P. 2 pods, 1 P. Personalization. Negative mental filtering. Magnification. Yeah. What else? Catastrophizing. Yeah. Polarized thinking. Could be. Sure. All right, Zubal. Do we know the order of the people? Oh, that's a good question. What about Zubal, chat? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream and the group analysis that we're doing at the moment. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Come and join us every Sunday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time now, I guess. Blaming. And also, if you're on Twitch, make sure to sub and help us out. It means the world. Or support us on Ko-Fi. Blaming. Negative mental filtering. Sure. Overgeneralization. I guess they blame Kane. Sure. Awesome. You guys are doing great. Great job. All right, here we go. Have we seen any of the defense mechanisms? The following defense mechanisms for the following: Kinger, Pomni, Jax, Ragatha, Gengar, Zubul. Projection. All of them. We've seen defense mechanisms used for all of them in some capacity, right? So I'm going to put DF for defense mechanisms that are clearly being used. Yeah, we've seen everyone do this in some capacity, right? For Kinger, which one's what's the biggest one that we've seen him use? I'm gonna say regression. Yeah, Kinger regresses. Pomni. Now you guys are putting together a whole aspect for an individual here. What about Pomni? What are we noticing? Denial, projection, sublimation. No worry, Edgy. I appreciate you. Displacement, compensation, sublimation. This chart is generalized into a couple. There's also intellectualization, which essentially intellectualization means like people that are book smart, right? And so they try and like use their intellect to try and justify why they did what they did, you know? I love that it's locked. Reaction formation, yep. What about Jax? Sublimation? What about Jax? I deal with intellectualization is he displaces, he projects, yeah. Projects, displaces. Compensation and displacement, yep. Ragatha. Trust me, we're not going to get all of them because I'm going to leave some out on purpose for the fact that sometimes we don't have all the information, you know? Identification? Trying to become like someone else? Or compensating? Trying to make up for areas? You think she's compensating? Sublimation, if you say? Compensation and reaction formation. Okay. Reaction form and compensation. All right, Gangle. Gangle. Killer World, thanks so much for the sub. I appreciate it. By the way, great job, all of you. I appreciate all of you jumping on in to help out. Regression. Identification. Regression. Identification. Reaction formation. Wow, you're spelling. I know. It's something else, Void. Gangle feels like I don't know, actually. Identification. That's what I thought, too. All right, Zubul. Might compensate. Yeah, compensation's another one. What about Zubul? Zubul. Compensation, displacement, rationalization, sublimation, turning socially unacceptable urges into socially acceptable behavior. Alan, who might feel aggressive, might actually just, you know, avoid or become a professional hockey player to let out that rage, you know. Reaction formation, right? Forming an emotional reaction or attitude that is the opposite of one's feelings or thoughts. Reaction formation. Sure, actually. Alrighty. Last but not least, we could go on and on forever, but I want to go ahead and just bring this in for a bit. Kinger's age, approximate age, and pronouns. He, him, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And age, chat. I know Bleak 48. Pomni, she, her, correct? 25. Jax, 22. He, him. Ragatha, 30. She, her. Gangle. Yeah, we've literally filled this entire board. I wish I had my other whiteboard. It was huge. She, her. 28. Zubul. 22. They, them. All right. From what we know, any important details so far from what we've heard for Kinger? Yes. Number one. Wife abstracted. Anything else, chap? From Kinger. One important detail from Kinger that needs to be placed on here. It's not dementia, my friend. Lucid and dark. Longest. They're the longest. You know, light makes them forget. Yep. Light hampers the Kinger having amnesia. Yeah. Right. We were talking about dissociative amnesia, right? Repression. Sure. We can put a little bit of repression. Amnesia. Computer science. And Kaufmo's room. All right, what about Pomni? One thing I did put up there that he had a wife that abstracted. One thing for Pomni that you feel is important for us to put in here. She's the newest. Jax, one thing. Saw the void in the first day. Feels like she's in hell. Yeah. Displacement. She's displaced. Yep. Apathetic. Yo, thanks so much for the follow, Garvey Adventures. I appreciate it. Didn't show up to a funeral. Seems to treat everything like a joke. No friends. Distant. All right, Ragatha, one thing. People pleasing. Good. All right. Gangle, one thing. Masking. All right. Zubul, one thing. I hope you're ready for this. And I want y'all to hear what it sounds like. Body dysmorphia, self-conscious about self, dysphoric. Yeah. All right, here we go. Are y'all ready for this? Guys, drop some Doritos in the chat if you're ready for this. I want y'all to just hear what this sounds like. Okay? I want y'all to hear just what this sounds like and what you gather out of this. Okay, so first off, hello everyone. Welcome to today's group session. We have a number of cases to go through tonight. Why don't we start off with our first individual, who is Kinger, right? Kinger is 48 years old. He, him pronouns. And what we've known so far is the fact that, like, he had a wife that abstracted. So there's a lot of grief. There's a lot of instances in there that might still affect them, you know. Whenever it comes to them being in the light, it seems as though they either repress their mental capacities or they have some sort of dissociative amnesia that affects their ability to go ahead and fully conceptualize everything that's going on around them. Kinger has been here the longest from what we know. He does have a secure attachment style. And with this, right, we understand that at times they do catastrophize, right? Now, even though catastrophication is a cognitive distortion, we understand that catastrophication can come from an aspect of being startled or not fully understanding this. When we look at his hierarchy of needs, Kinger is at the very bottom. Yes, Kinger is at the very bottom where, you know, there are still in the red and yellow when they're still trying to go ahead and rationalize, for example, what is happening all the way up there while still being a stable support individual for others. At times, repression or regression, you know, seems to be his most common attribute. What do you all think about him? How do you think that Kinger walks around the world? What do you think it feels like for Kinger to come out of the amnesiac moments and realize what is happening? Can you imagine how lonely, how scared he must feel? How distressed and overwhelming it might be? How at the times of clarity, you know, it might be absolutely terrifying to be in that situation for Kinger, where Kinger might still be dealing with grief and might be dealing with the loss over and over, not just of his partner, right, but also of aspects of self. Imagine coming in and out of consciousness, or in and out of this amnesiac state, and experiencing that over and over again, where you feel like you've had something that you needed to get done, but you can't really get anything done because you can't really process anything. How stable or how rough do you think it is for someone like this to connect with others in that capacity? He's the caretaker, but no one's there to help him. And he knows he is struggling with those moments too. Yep. What do you think could be done to help Kinger out? What can we do now that we've empathized a little bit with him? What can we do to help Kinger? What do you think would help Kinger out? Now, this is the way that you start thinking. Support system, safe environment, grounding him, being in darkness, right? Turn the lights off, you know, chill out with him in the pillow fort. Yeah, get in an environment where you're able to connect with Kinger on his level, you know? Which is interesting, because now, turn it the other way. What would hurt Kinger the most? And what would get individuals to have a psychological break, right? A crisis. Now you flip it around. Everyone leaving him, a false reality, an aspect where you think that there are others that are there for him, that know him for who he is, but is not really there. Introducing individuals that might, you know, mess with this amnesiac state of allowing him to trust, but them not really being there, and them actually being Kane in some capacity, right? NPCs, anybody in there that triggers something in Kinger that break the support system in altogether. How's your wife, Kinger? Yep. Additional sensory inputs. Now we know ways to trigger Kinger. And now we know how Kinger might interact with this environment, and the environment might interact with them. All right, Pomni, are y'all okay with this? Y'all good with this? Can we move on to Pomni here? Chat. Yes. All right. Having the time of your life. All right, we have a little bit of ads. Quick little ad break. Run to the restroom, grab a drink, grab a snack, run to the restroom. When we come back, we are hitting on Pomni. And we're going to talk a little bit of Kinger as well. So, quick little ad break. Run to the restroom, get a drink, get a snack. Well, that's exactly what I just mentioned, Silly. Silly Kitty is, what can we do to go ahead and break his stability that he does have? Not hitting on Pomni. We're whatever way I was going to say it's going to sound bad if I say it the other way. We're going to go over Pomni's study in the moment here. You know, anyway, give me just a little bit and I'll be right back. Cool. So let's touch on that, right? Welcome to Whiteboard. At any point in time, whenever we talked a little bit about Kinger. Imagine how Kinger is processing the world continuously. This is the way that they're filtering the world, right? In some capacity that it's going through with them, right? An instance happens, right? Does its defense mechanisms kick in? Does he regress? Does he catastrophize, right? Does he come through and establish that secure aspect out of the dissociative amnesia? Or does he actually try and process anything, you know? Now, when it comes to Pomni, you guys ready for this? Pomni, 25, she, her, right? They are the newest individual in the group and they're displaced. So imagine immediately being summoned to another world without any clue as to what's going on in there, right? With this, we've noticed that they seem to have an instance of like multiple attachment styles, right? Where they might either be secure, or they might be feeling a little anxious, where the anxiety might pop up. They do have a reaction formation, right? Where they might be thinking one thing, but they act and say another. And that's mostly due to the anxiety, again, of the world that's being presented inside of them. Inside of that, we definitely noted that they're going up and down the hierarchy of needs. And we've seen them struggle, right? From the baseline needs all the way to trying to establish friendships and maintaining those friendships. But how stable is those friendships if Gummigoo can go... How much do you think that impacts them in any capacity and that weighs inside of their mind? What would happen to Pomni in any case, way, shape, or form? Yeah, how can they understand that more? Me? Oh, I'm used to this type of writing. You know, how do you guys think, what do you think would have happened to Pomni if you kept doing this, where you kept introducing individuals that connected on a deeper level with her, and then boom, you kept taking them out? What do you think would happen to Pomni if, say, that Gummigoo came back as an NPC and they're like, hi, and Gummigoo's like, who are you? Do you think that would trigger their attachment style, their ability to try and connect, or any other individual? Imagine a fake Kinger, right? Another version of Kinger that's being set up in this aspect where Pomni now feels that they're able to be vulnerable with Kinger, but then Kinger comes through and it's like, who are you? What? Like, it's shattering trust, it's shattering expectations inside of that. But through this, we've noted that there's a little bit of anxiety. And even though we're processing the world as Pomni, yes, that would be rough. And even though right now we're processing the world as Pomni, right? Or through Pomni's lens, through Pomni's adventures, where does this go? And how does this adventure keep going? The more that Pomni's needs are being met, and the more that each of these characters' needs are being met, chat. Now, with this, we've seen that there is mental filtering, right? Pomni at time does have to mental filter, and they do have to have some reaction formation to it in order to try it and, process the world around them. Now, any questions that we have on Pomni? So now that we've gone through this, what does this give you perspective? Honestly, this makes me kind of hurt in a way, or empathize more with Pomni as well. But it makes me wonder for Pomni themselves, how they're rushing to try and attach with others, right? Or how they might try and connect with others in a world like this when nothing is really stable, when it's all digital. For all of them, Wowie, do they have family waiting on the outside for them? Like, does Pomni have a brother, sister, mother, so on and so forth waiting outside? What about Jax? Does Jax have a brother, sister, parents out there waiting for them, right? Like, what does the attachment style or support network for them look like? That is huge. All right, anything else that we should touch on for Pomni? Does this give you a better perception of Pomni? Are they worried about their families? Yeah. Does this give you a better perception about Pomni, chat? Does this make you understand why maybe Pomni being here and her connecting with others at the same time, yes, it's grounding her, but maybe pushing out there? All right, with Jax, 22, he, him. Jax tends to be a little bit of a loner, does not go to a funeral, does not really have friends, is rather distant. They project and they displace quite a bit. When we look at their hierarchy of needs, they seem to be missing a lot of the red, yellow, but still not be meeting any of the needs for green, for friendships, for family, in this aspect, in this world. They don't really seem to have an actual attachment style. But the most part, a lot of us seem to be saying that like it might be avoidant, dismissive. They seem to minimize and blame. And what scares me about this is Jax at the moment, either they're really, really masking because they're not fully intellectualizing what might be happening in this world, or they might be on the antisocial personality spectrum, which means, right, that by the way, people on the antisocial personality spectrum does not mean that they're evil or mean or everyone has different needs to be met there, right? Either they're masking or they're on the antisocial personality spectrum. And if they're on the spectrum and back in the day, it would be classified as, are you either a sociopath or a psychopath, right? And then you guys are asking me, it might be like, wait, what are you talking about in that way, right? Now we've learned that it's a spectrum, right? That there's individuals that of course have a lot of the traits. However, that doesn't, and that sociopathy and psychopathy was taken out a long time ago because of the negative connotations that the words hold, right? Exactly. But the main aspect that would come through with this is, does Jax actively harm others without care or reprimand in this world? And to what extent? Is it because it's innate to him? Does this come internally from them? Or is it because society, the world around them, is pushing him to act this way? Like, for example, yes, yes, yes. I'm just saying a lot of yes. Jax causes others misfortune and he will smile about it as he's doing it, but I don't know if that's the whole story. But that's the thing, though, is if it's masking, why is it masking? Is it a learned behavior? And if it is a learned behavior, why are you doing a learned behavior in a different world, right? Or why are you resorting to those learned behaviors unless that's what you're used to and that's what you've normalized as a kid, which then makes you wonder, in the real world, does Jax hurt and or do the same behavior that he's displaying inside of the amazing digital circus? And if he is displaying this behavior in the real world, would you not be concerned? I think that Jax needs a lot of love and support and trust and, honestly, support, mental health support in some capacity, to be able to trust others in some capacity. Because if the behaviors that is being displayed inside of this world were to be taken out into the real world, Mm. 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 A lot of them do. Yeah, a lot of them do. Yeah, and that's where the next aspect comes in, right? Is this Jax at his best or is this Jax at his worst because the circus is reinforcing these negative behaviors? Because in a big way, shape, or form, Jax wants to know that he matters. And so Jax wants to know that his actions do have consequences in some way, shape, or form, or that others, right, will really pay attention to him. It's like one of those kids that's a troublemaker, that will do anything to try and get attention because ultimately it's being seen, being heard, and being as though they are still valued as an individual, maybe in a big version, and we're seeing minimization and blaming, right? Which means that they don't really take accountability for what's happening, and meaning that they're, and this comes from you guys, right? Dismissing what's happening on the outside and minimizing it, because it's better than taking full accountability for what might actually be true. If they don't have control, it's easier to go ahead and throw that aspect of control elsewhere. Well, it's not in my control. Kane has all the aspects. Kane has all the control, right? But ultimately, for example, this is sort of what I wonder. If Jax was given the choice, right? Here you go, Jax. On this hand, you can end a game. You can end the circus. You can end this game altogether. On this hand, everything stays the same. What would Jax choose? That is the question that comes to mind whenever I think about Jax like this. Because I see an individual that's more than likely willing to keep the game going out of their own cycle of ability and or form of thought, because of the dismissive, the blaming, the minimization, the aspects of like, oh well, nothing might really matter, the projection and displacement aspects, the fact that they're all going through this, right? Yeah, no, full agreement there. I don't even know, Moo. I guess I'll call you Moo. I think we'd rather be hated and seen and seen than remembered and forgotten. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. 100%. But then how does now that we've gotten through this, right? How does Jax turn around? How do you help? Was getting brought into the circus compared to where he was before? Yeah. Would he want to return to a world that has consequences? That's another good question. Phenomenal questions. How do we fix them, chat? How do we fix Jax? Before we break him apart, before we go evil Ed, how do we fix Jax? Finding real connections, right? Real people that allow him the opportunity to be vulnerable, the opportunity to be seen and heard, the opportunity for them to actually be able to relate with stable support. That is how you start the ability for them to start fixing themselves, right? It takes them, because ultimately none of this matters unless they take the steps, right? How do we break Jax? How do we break Jax? We reinforce the behavior. Nothing really matters. Take everything away. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters. Guess what? You're never going to the real world, Jax. Doesn't really matter. Guess what? People will infinitely come on through and you'll be forgotten. Yeah, you might keep pissing people off, but guess what? There's going to come a person that actually loves them and shows up for them. You don't give them attention. Oof. Oof. Put in a position of no power. Yeah, essentially just slowly start phasing them out where other people might not really care about them, right? All right, next one. Are we good with Jax? Can we move on? Does this make sense for Jax? I hope it does, because this is what this is telling me about Jax. This is, and it's making me worried. Like, honestly, I think Jax needs a lot of help, a lot of professional psychological help. That he should definitely go see a therapist, or that's not Kane, in the area. Because another aspect about the antisocial personality spectrum is, again, manipulation at its finest. Whenever I bring up manipulation, I never mean manipulation is bad, by the way. We all manipulate, right? But manipulation takes many shapes and or forms, right? And this is what emotional manipulation looks like. No worries, Unicorn. I appreciate it. Moving the goalpost. Generalization. Changing the subject. Gaslighting. Passive aggression. Lying or denial. Targeting insecurities. Ignoring. Conspiring. Evoking fear. Stereotyping. Emotional abuse. Have we seen Jax do any of these in any capacity? Again, Jax has done almost all of these things. Which again brings up the main concern, right? Target insecurity, passive aggressiveness, brings up the concern that I have in that regard, which is ultimately behaviors like this can keep getting worse if it's not addressed, Oof. And I know some of you guys might have just been like, oh my goodness, oof, oof. And then comes in the other one, right? For Jax, has he used any of these? Yeah. He's used quite a bit, quite a bit. And again, all it takes is one for a relationship to be considered abusive. If you're going through any of this, right, and like you note that one of these is happening, guess what? It might not be the healthiest relationships. This is the power and control wheel, which again showcases that Jax is trying to get some sort of power and control and affecting wherever it needs to be. Whoa. Alrighty, there we go. On to the next one. Ragatha, 30, she, her. Ragatha has a bit of an avoidant, fearful personality where she is a people pleaser. She's trying to go ahead and people please others, right? But she's afraid of the relationships ending, right? So we often see her be very, very anxious and personalize a lot of what may be going out there. We might see that in aspects of passive aggressiveness, right? Where you might make a comment, might come off kind of rude, but at the same time, you might not mean it that way and you might not stand with it, right? There's a lot of mental filtering that starts off with it, and compensation, where Ragatha tries to compensate for areas that she feels she needs validation for. So she goes above and beyond to try and go ahead and meet those areas. For Ragatha in of herself, what does she need? She needs support as well. I think all of these individuals need support. All of these individuals need validations, right? Yeah, she might not like others, but want others to like her. Exactly. How do we break Ragatha? Just like others, you don't give her that support. You don't give her that validation. All of a sudden, you don't want, like, you get people to ignore her. You get people to even whisper stuff about her. Everyone hates her. Everyone abandons her, and she doesn't fully understand why. That aspect of leaving someone in the middle of a turmoil where they don't quite understand why people dislike them. Guess what? That is their worst best friend, because ultimately they start eating themselves alive at trying to find out why no one loves them. Because at least if someone tells them that they don't like them, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? They don't like me. But if you don't know, your own mind can be your own worst enemy. Like, okay, if you were to grab, I don't know, go party with some of these individuals, with the crew here. If you were to go party, go to the club, go drinks, who would you go out with? I think Kinger would be the funnest. Pomni, I feel would be quite a bit. Jax, I feel like we'd end up in a brawl because of them. Ragatha, I don't know about Ragatha. I'm not gonna lie, Gangle, I think would be fun. Zubul, I think Zubul would be a blast, But Pomni and Kinger. Gangle is a party animal. Which brings us to Gangle. Gangle, 28, she, her. Gangle tends to mask quite a bit, right? Where their happy mask seems to be breaking continuously at the hands of Jax, right? Gangle seems to be on the red and green area of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which means that their baselines of security are not met. Gangle at times seems to be going through different aspects of identification and compensation, right? Where they're trying to identify, with their mask, right? And compensate compensate for those areas, right? They seem to catastrophize and have polarized forms of thinking where at times they might get one aspect right because let's say that they get I don't know, a grade right from school. And if they were like, by the way, this is polarized thinking in case you guys are wondering, Ed, what are you talking about? Why are you bringing up grades from school? I'll bring it up again. A student who gets an A- at an exam feels like a failure because they're used to getting A+ onlys. They have the mentality, if I'm not successful at everything I do, I'm a complete failure, right? So having that aspect, having that thing there highlights it, right? Where ultimately for Gangle to be truly successful, right, they need to meet all those standards and expectation. If they're not met, they usually take it upon themselves. Which for me, I've seen a lot of Gangles in the workforce. I've seen a lot of Gangles out there in real life where sometimes we wear that mask, right, and it keeps on breaking, and we try and keep that mask on regardless of what's there. Gangle is an individual that for me I feel needs a lot of like support, of course, just like everyone else, does need that professional counseling and does need a lot of self-esteem work, right? Does need a lot of self-esteem work. The ability to connect with others and the ability to connect with themselves, right? How do I feel like Gangle would be like a manager if she was a manager? Overwhelming. A lot of individuals, especially that deal with this polarized forms of thinking that are catastrophizing, that are masking and still trying to find themselves, at time place a lot of the aspects of control into their work environment and become so overwhelming to people that like you often get like, how many of you have ever been in a work environment where your boss is just such a micromanager because of the polarized forms of thinking and the catastrophication that is constantly happening, right? Where sometimes their emotions and healing are like they're trying to be the best forms of selves aren't placed on themselves but placed on their work environment, and that's where you get a lot of micromanagers where they might not necessarily like others, right? But or they might not necessarily have the ability to connect with others in that aspect, but might struggle with identifying themselves as a leader, right? And that's the big thing, is how do you see yourself as a leader and as a transformational aspect inside of them, right? Same thing with, like, for example, Pomni. I think Pomni would probably be too relaxed inside of them. I think Jax is well, they would get things done. Kinger, it's here or there. I think Kinger, if it's in the amnesiac state, I think Kinger for the most part would be kind of rough to deal with. It's sort of that like manager, that leader that you feel should absolutely be not be in the workforce anymore. But when lucid, absolutely phenomenal. Jax, absolutely not. Ragatha, I think they would be okay, actually. I think Ragatha as a potential leader would be okay. I think there would be a lot of customer service orientation where they would try and people please too much, you know. And Zubul, well, I think Zubul might be the most stable in like a work environment, if that makes sense. Yeah, Ragatha would have issues confronting workers. All right, Zubul. Oh, hold on. How do we break Gangle? How do we break Gangle, chat? Yeah, Ragatha would probably be a pushover a little bit. How do we break Gangle? Yeah, honestly, you just apply pressure. You 26? Oh, okay. There you go, 26. More like Jax, you're weak. Honestly, just the criticisms, pressure, whatnot causes a lot of individuals to break. All right, Zubul, 22. They, them, they seem to be going through quite a bit. They do have a little bit of reaction formation. They do have a little bit of like dysphoria. They seem to have a little bit of negative forms of thinking. Whenever we look at their Maslow's hierarchy of need, they are in the red yellow aspect, right, where they don't have security of body. They do seem to be struggling a little bit with self-image, with aspects of self, right, with understanding. There is a little bit of blaming. There is a little bit of whenever we look at it, whenever it comes to attachment styles, it seems as though they seem to have both different types of attachment. They're kind of in between a secure attachment and an avoidant attachment altogether. Out of all the characters in here, at least for Zubul, how can we help them out? Number one, finding a way for them to like find comfort in themselves and their body and finding whatever that looks like, right? Number two, for Zubul. For Zubul. For Zubul. How do we destroy them? You pressure the dysphoric aspects. You annoy them to death. You pressure the aspects that they will never be seen as whole. They will never have autonomy. They will never have the bodily choice for them to be able to go ahead and choose their own forms of happiness, right? Like make them exactly. So you pressure them in this regard, right? Both, Cake Chip. You put pressure on both. Now that we have all of this, we've got into how individuals go, like, come and go here. Now here's a rough spot. And I hope that this gave you a better picture of all the characters. Now that we have all of this, what happens the moment that you put Jax with Gangle in an aspect where Gangle might have to go ahead and step up in some capacity, right? And they're going through all of this. And now Jax, we know that they're displacing and that they'll go ahead and, be avoidant, dismissive, and blame. And now you have Pomni in here, right? Who's the newest one in here and doesn't really know what to do. But Jax is taking aspect in here. And then Kinger's in a disassociative state. And what happens the moment that we start interacting? You have all these interactions. Guess what? You're set up for a moment of a lot of pressure and destruction, because a lot of these individuals, if no one's properly helping the group manage their emotions, they're going to step in each other's toes, and guess what? They're going to push their own psyches to start breaking. And so it makes me wonder at times if maybe this circus isn't met as, like, number one, we're the viewers, like, watching on through, adding pressure, and number two, like, like very Brechtian. Number two, this group of characters isn't just meant to torture one another. And even if it's archetypes or stereotypes or individuals that keep coming on through, where this circus is just meant to keep catching on fire, because all of these individuals in some capacity are meant to trigger one another back and forth and back and forth. Jax triggers Gangle. Gangle at times, because of their emotional instability, might trigger Zubul. Zubul might trigger Pomni. Pomni will trigger Ragatha. Ragatha will trigger Kinger. Kinger, because they're trying to go ahead and be the most secure one, will go into an amnesiac state, might regress, and at times due to regression. And it can go back and forth from any individual going through back and forth from this aspect, right? Where there is no stability and where each one is made, again, to trigger one another. Whoo! Does this make sense as to how, like, my brain is conceptualizing this entire show and keeping all this information in, the schema, and how all of this is working with one another, and why I'm able to go ahead and, like, quickly jump through and be like, okay, that makes sense. Here's why this might go on because of this. Because these is all critical information that you need to have about the characters for this to keep moving forward. Alrighty. Am I good to erase chat? Is this a good analysis of it? I hope it is. I hope you all enjoyed it. Drop some Doritos if you guys enjoyed it, for a little bit of a case study here, a little bit of some cooking here as we're going on through with it. Thank you all so much for behaving, for working through with this, for not spoiling anything. I really appreciate you guys whenever you guys are truly here and actively working towards, making our streams, our case studies a little bit better, behaving, in that regard. Oh man, that was quite a bit. Episode number 4. Three hours in, I know. Ed needs some red thread for the whiteboard. Oh God. Alrighty, chat, are you ready? Now, why don't we again? Yeah, thank you for joining stream, guys. I'll see you guys next time. All right. The title of this episode is The Amazing Digital Circus, episode number 4, Fast Food Masquerade. Masquerade. Okay, mask. That immediately leads me to think of Gangle. But fast food? Hey, yo, we're going to McDonald's? Oh, I'm kind of hungry. All right. Hi, YouTube. Welcome on through. Hey, I'm going to try and timestamp this as now. Sorry for that. But ultimately, trying to make sure that you guys, if you guys need to skip the analysis portion that we did, we jumped right on through it. Hope you all are taking care of yourselves, and I hope all of you are ready for this episode. I know I'm excited, man. Every week that we end an episode, I'm left thinking about the world and specifically about Kane. And it kind of, a question has come to my mind. And it's a rhetorical question, chat. Please don't answer it if there are spoilers. What if some of our main characters are NPCs? How would we know? How would we know? Chat. What if all these memories and stuff that are being talked about, they're just fake? How do we know? How do we know? That's the question that I've been processing, right? Which is like, ultimately, how good? I think our only hope. We wouldn't know. Actually, we know NPCs could have fake memories by Gummy Goo. Yeah. So it is. Ooh. It is quite a bit. My mind is like stirring on all these concepts of self, of, you know what if this is Kane just creating this entire world because they don't want to feel so lonely, and maybe they want to establish individuals that might be sentient in some capacity to be able to connect with them, and that way he has friends, and and then my brain started spiraling in different directions. I love this show. This is just cinema. This is just cinema, at its finest. I love the characters. I love the environment. And I hope that you come and join us. I hope that you're liking the cooking. Honestly, thank you all so much for being here. I can't say that enough. Where it means a lot to have the support and see you guys come through and enjoy the show, and actively watch it on YouTube. And I hope you guys are sharing it with your friends, your loved ones, Reddit, wherever it goes into. And you guys are more than welcome to come and join for an active discussion on it. With that being said, are you ready? Chat, are you ready? Give me a hell yeah! Give me a hell yeah, chat! Let's get excited. Drop some Doritos. Give me a hell yeah! We're about to get started. Episode number 4, Fast Food Masquerade. Whew, it's been a long week. Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, you just wind your arm backwards in a big circle, release right at the bottom, and follow through. You got that?
Oh, softball, right? Yeah, has to be softball. Oh my goodness.
You're wasting your time, Raggy.
Just wait a second.
Like this?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh. Well, shit. Even if that was unintentional, which I really do think that this one was, right? Because Jax is looking up, right? Because Jax is looking up. This does look like an accident. I'm not going to lie. Jax is looking up as though he's hoping that the ball is up there. Yeah, at the very beginning of the episode. Seeing how they're interacting with one another. Yeah, like, looks, it's so fast. He throws it, Jax hits it, Jax is looking up. That's a total accident. That has to be a total accident. But also, what a way to showcase what we were just talking about in our character analysis so far, right? Ragatha doing her best to try and go out and do this. Jax being dismissive about it. Wow. I think it was.
Jax!
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, like that one's. Oh.
Are you alright, Gangle?
Oh.
Why do you always gotta do this?
What? I just said it was an accident.
Unbelievable. You are
Hey,
unbelievable.
Gangle, I think
Jax obviously meant, but I agree, he didn't mean to do it that time. Yeah, no, it sounded genuine too.
Why do you always gotta do this?
What? I just said it was an accident.
Unbelievable. You are
Hey,
unbelievable.
Gangle.
Isn't it interesting for Ragatha? Here's a big one. Ragatha, instead of going through to go check on how Gangle is doing, gets into the priority, the main, yeah. The more concerned about yelling than about Gangle. That's interesting, isn't it? Sibling energy. Yeah, no, 100%. But the reason why I highlight this is how many of you guys, if your friend were to get hit by a if your friend were to get hit by a baseball, you would go and check up on them before you start yelling. There's a difference between asking and checking, right? That's a big thing. So when we look at this,
You got it. Jax!
I actually didn't mean to do that.
Are you alright, Gangle?
so the answer is owl, and the immediate return is let's argue. I'd be a good person, not just go, you do both. Yeah, you can do both, right? But that's the interesting part. I guess the question that I have for you is, at times, can Ragatha be performative? This is not a bad thing. This is not a, it's just a general statement. At times, can Ragatha be performative, chat? I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. Mm-hmm. 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 And that's where we're bringing this up, right? Like, you know, we know that we already went through the Jax analysis here. Jax being dismissive, whatnot. This one for me seems like a total accident in all retrospect, right? Looking at it, right? If like Jax, for example, if Jax were to like purposefully hurt Gangle or Ragatha, like let's say that, I don't know, he got in a what is the things that clean the ice. I live in the desert, so I don't really know them. The Zambonos, what are they called? Ice people that live there. Zambonis, there you go. If Jax were to get on a Zamboni, right, and like let's say purposely ran over Gangle or Ragatha or like hurt them intentionally, at that point in time, all my red flags and triggers would come through, right? But for me, this one was more of an accident than anything else, you know. And yeah, getting mad is one thing, but at the same time, layers, escalation layers, right? How do we get mad if this is a continuous pattern? And how do you stop it from happening instead of just resorting
Why do you
to it?
always gotta do this?
What? I just said it was an accident.
Unbelievable. You are
Hey,
unbelievable.
Gangle. I think I found something you might like.
Aw.
Of course, what was I thinking?
I don't know if it'll work, but it looks about the same shape as yours.
Zubul? Zubul? That does not look too good. Now that looks like an overmask. For me, that looks like oftentimes whenever I see a person on their emotional highs, you know, especially if they're ever, you know, going through it, they're ever getting to work with a lot of individuals, right? Yeah. Looks uncanny. Oh yeah, Zubul's room. Yeah, Zubul's room. First off, we're getting to see it. That doesn't look like the greatest idea considering how that mask looks like. And I've seen people wear this mask a lot, especially if you've ever seen it. How many of you have ever seen an individual in like an extreme manic phase? Pink and yellow and like, you know, over the top, and I can get anything done. I've seen a lot of creators. Yeah, no, 100%. I have a lot, like for example, I have a lot of clients that come through and you can tell by the, you've seen Bleak, you know, by the like absolute mask that they're wearing, right? The eyes, right? The energy, the can-do attitude, the, oh, we could do 1,001 aspects in here, right? That is what I've seen, a mask like that. It screams out to me, right? The stars and everything's great and, you know, whatnot. But the emotional highs can also come with emotional lows, right? And for me, this mask is one mask that I'd probably be like, you know what? It's best to go ahead and be yourself than anything else, right? Dysphoria, that sounds like hell. Oh, yeah. We're gonna back it up just a little bit here. They have an aura about to explode. Would be not a mask. Would think more like, yeah, exactly. Trying so hard to believe something they're not. Yeah, you've been
I
there.
don't know if it'll.
In the room here, like look at the room. Literally filled with mirrors, filled with like, it's not very well like uniformed per se, like forced to look at yourself. Yeah, for someone that might have the mirrors, yikes, exactly. This almost feels like it's torturing you on purpose, right? On purpose.
Work, but it looks about the same shape as yours.
Oh.
And best part is it's plastic, so it won't break as easily.
That's good, and I'm glad. See, I love that Zubul cares. Living in that kind of room, exactly. Parking. I love that Zubul shows a lot of empathy through this, right? Zubul is really trying to connect with Gangle in some capacity, right? Yeah, plastic being more durable, also associated with being more fake. Exactly. I think Zubul genuinely wants to help, and I think this is how it's showcased in this manner, right?
Try it on. How's it feel?
It feels normal.
Good.
Like in a good way.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Zubul.
Welcome on through. But also,
What the heck is that?
Good, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Zubul.
oh, Zubul gets a little flustered. I worry for Gangle. Because, and I guess I'll ask this of you guys. Why do you mask? Don't get me wrong, we all mask in some capacity, but why do you mask? What is wrong with people seeing you sad, or with people knowing that you're on the spectrum, that you might be a little autistic, neurospicy if need be? Why do you mask? Why do you mask if you're always anxious? Fear of society? Because people always hated you when you didn't mask. Safety? Because it feels like who I am is too overwhelming to others. I mask because I'm too edgy. I'm afraid to make others angry because society is transactional. Different contexts, different people. Subconsciously, because you're too high maintenance. What do you mean by that, Evie? Well, how are you too high maintenance? A sense of shame. Why do you mask? Autism. People can't handle the reality of you. I mask because I don't see myself as a good person. Why not? Because I ramble too much about your interests. Because you're passionate about something. My emotions are a lot to unmask. Why is that? Why do you think that is? Do you think that people wouldn't listen to you if you let out your emotions and you talked a little bit about that? You don't know if you even mask. Honestly, I think I've forgotten who I really am behind the mask. Yeah, it can happen 100%, Buttery. See me as naive or childish? And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being naive or being a bit childish? When I break down at work, my clients tell me they are glad to know that I am human and it's okay, but I mask at work. Why do you mask at work? For work? Because people don't listen? How has it felt for society in general? And you guys are hitting on the themes, right? For society in general, or people or whatnot, telling you that you are not enough. The you that you genuinely are is not enough. And that the only person that they're willing to listen to is the mask of you that you have created. The mask that you have put so much of your worth and value to, because ultimately it's better than not having to deal with anything else. It's better than people seeing that true aspect, right? What if even the mask version is not good enough? So I highlight this Because as we're talking about Gangle here, think about what's happening for them. And I know we just did the analysis on them, but imagine all of that on them, right? How hard has it been for you to be successful even with your mask? How hard has it been for you to find friends even with your masking? Have you had to tune your mask into a different way and with different friend groups because it's a lot easier for people to love and accept you based on the mask that you're wearing? Have you had to go ahead and like sometimes remove your mask altogether, or you thought that maybe you could remove your mask with a partner or with somebody that you cared about, but ultimately found out like, hey, I shouldn't have done that, you know? I can tell people don't respect you when you drop your mask. Mm. 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 That's interesting. So I highlight this because ultimately I think Gangle is going through quite a bit, and oftentimes people might only see Gangle as one or the other, right? Without fully taking into consideration everything that we just talked about. All of this might really play into effect. It might really have such a deeper impact than we're willing to go ahead and you know, give credit for, especially for them, you know. Alrighty. Also, the wooden doll in the back, are there a person waiting to come in, or is that just like an NPC? Like stand anyway, well, we'll continue. Sorry.
What the heck is this? You're just giving away parts now?
So what if I am? I'm not
Yeah.
giving any to you.
What is this? You're just giving away parts now?
So what?
Thank you, Zubul.
What the heck is
I'm talking about the doll behind there, right? The figurine. Also, Jack's coming in and being dismissive.
this? You're just giving away parts now?
So what if I am? I'm not giving any to you.
Darn. Guess you're never getting that unicorn horn, Pomni.
What?
When did I ever say anything about that? I think you look good with one.
Oh.
Well, it's possible.
somebody say?
Thank you, Gangle. But also, what the fuck, Cade?
Look good with one. Well, it's possible.
somebody say adventure?
No. No.
Today?
No. No.
Today's adventure is The Curse of the Violent Psychopath Butcher!
Oh, another horror one. Is that really a good idea?
That's right, scary human meat is all over the walls, and boy, is it smelly! It's up to you
wait.
to...
Can we, like, chill with the horror, please? I really don't want this to be like last time.
What happened last time? Was that?
Smelly! The Curse of the Violent Psychopath Butcher! That's right, scary human meat is all over the walls, and boy, is it smelly!
So they're still able to go ahead and smell, correct? Considering that he just clearly stated that. How do you think it's gonna sound weird question. I know it's gonna sound weird. How do you think these characters smell like? I told you it's gonna be a weird question, but there's a reason for it, right? Simulated senses, plastic toys, plastic. Ragatha smells like cherries or licorice. Pain and suffering. Oh no. Lemons and sunflowers. Cloth for Ragatha.
It's up to you to...
Wait. Can we, like, chill with the horror, please? I really don't want this to be like last time.
What happened last time? Was that the one made for me?
There was this awful, horrifying angel head thing. And when we tried to fight back at all, we got sent to hell where evil souls tried to infest our bodies. It was bad.
Again, right? Something taking over your body Kane, what the fuck kind of adventure were you planning for Zubul? Sorry for cursing, but at this point in time, Kane, what were like? Why would you think that this is a good? Yeah, why would you think that this is a good adventure? Like what? Yeah, poor Zubul. Like what? And also Pomni. Look at Pom. Oh, she's animated so well.
Why did you think I would like that?
Well,
Yes!
if you're all gonna be such critics, why don't you suggest a better one?
We do. Have you not checked the suggestion box once?
Oh no.
Gonna be real, I forgot we had that.
I knew it.
We have a suggestion box?
We have a
Basically, no.
suggestion box.
Bubble, plug that up. How about an adventure where Zubul gets turned into a piñata and we all take turns beating them up?
That one's mine.
Jax, it's kind of messed up, dude. That's really messed up.
Would have guessed.
Let's just have an adventure where Jax can't talk through the entire thing.
Genuinely hurtful.
Honestly, a good
Can
one.
we maybe pick one that's more normal?
Well, I don't know what's normal to you people. Let's have one where we all work at a fast food place.
Oh,
Is that normal?
Who wrote that?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Great!
she is talking a lot more, isn't she? Like, not really being afraid from the looks of it. Like, it's like that sense of confidence, right?
Let's have one where we all work at a fast food place.
Who wrote that?
Is that normal?
Who wrote that?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Great! That means today's adventure is an honest, hard day's work at Spudsy's restaurant chain. And you can be the shift manager.
You did not just make that today's.
I'm not mad at the show. I know she's so excited. Please, when we're doing analysis like this, like deep breakdowns of the characters and whatnot, is the best way I can put it. It hurts my soul, but also she's so excited. She's so excited. She's so excited. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on, chat. Hold on. She's so excited. So cute. Cuteness, aggression. Yes, 100%. Cuteness, aggression. Aggression. Let me find it. Let me find it. Dude, I keep looking up prions and it keeps absolutely terrifying me. Terrifying me, you know? For some reason. No worries, no worries. That happens from time to time. People get excited, you know? Prions? Is it pronounced prions? I thought it was pronounced prions for some reason. Again, sometimes my Spanish, I think in Spanish at times, so it affects me in my ability to pronounce words 100% correctly. You know? Let's see. Perfect. I used to have tabs in the one I have for work, so in case I ever need it, I can just quickly turn to it. Terrifying. All right, chat. This is sort of what I'm looking for. Y'all ready? A distinct period of abnormally and persistently elevated, expansive, or irritable mood, and abnormally and persistent increased activity or energy. During this period of mood disturbance and increased energy, 3 of the following systems may be persistent. 4, if the mood is irritable, in a noticeable change. Inflated aspects of self-esteem, grandiosity, decreased need for sleep, more talkative than usual or pressure to keep talking, flight of ideas or subjective experiences, distractibility, increase in goal orientation, and excessive involvement in activities that have a high potential for painful consequences. This might be unequivocal change due to different characteristics. They might go ahead and disturbance in mood changes, and it might cause some impairments in social or occupational functions. Alrighty. Are y'all ready? Okay, that's what we're looking for, chat. If any of those ring true, I'll let y'all know what I'm looking at. All right? All right, perfect.
A fast food place. Is that normal?
Who wrote that?
Or that's...
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
Great! That means today's adventure is an honest, hard day's work at Spudsy's restaurant chain.
Oh,
And you
oh.
can be the shift manager.
You did not just make that today's adventure.
Look at Jax's face already. Ugh. Jack's already not happy with it, right? He threw away the whole box. He ain't having any of that. But look at her face. Oh, she's so excited.
That's right. You've shown enough leadership skills today to be the perfect shift manager.
Oh.
Of course. I'm already getting tons of ideas. That was weird.
Well, see you guys when it's over.
Again?
By the way,
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be a wage slave for fun.
Oh, I know. I could sit this one out, and Zuko
Aw.
could take my place.
Kinger. Oh, Kinger just tried to go ahead and make sure that everyone's included.
See
Oh,
you guys when it's over.
That was weird.
Well, see you guys when it's over.
of course, Zuba wanting to go ahead and step out, right? Kind of like we've seen this behavior, right, where they don't want to go ahead and take part in these adventures, in these aspects, which absolutely makes sense, right? Ultimately, it's like, hey, they understand that if they take part in this, they're giving Kane a W, right? Alrighty, y'all ready to continue? Kinger's so sweet. Kinger's the sweetest. He's trying. Yeah, Kinger's just trying to go ahead and make sure that everyone feels included, and that for me says a lot about him. Okay, let's go.
Again?
I'm not gonna be a wage slave for fun.
Honestly fair. Honestly fair. Honestly fair. One day, I hope to just be doing like analysis and stuff like this, and you know, as an all day, everyday type thing where we just jump through and knock out an entire series and whatnot. Because working for another person thing, whatnot, is never fun. It's always a lot of work, right? As opposed to crafting what you love and trying to make something out of it. Zubo's so real. You work fast food. How's that like? How's that like? It's gonna sound weird. I've actually, I kind of missed the opportunity. I wanted to have like a graveyard shift working like a convenience store or one of those like gas stations types things. I don't know why. Like when I was a kid growing up in like my teenage years, I was always like, oh, that would be so cool. But yeah, never got to happen. Schooling and everything really. You want an overnight shift, to be honest? Yeah, that would be fun. That'd be a ton of fun. All right, let's keep going, shall we?
Oh, I know. I could sit this one out,
Yes.
and Zuko could take my place.
What? That's not how that works.
Great idea, Kinger. It'll be nice to have you back on board, Zubal.
What? Are you kidding me? I'm just gonna be forced into this stupid adventure.
You can shut up now.
And again, right? Zubo trying to go ahead and regain that sense of control, right? That's that aspect of like, hey, you're not gonna go to W and boom, you get displaced. Congratulations, Zubo. You've gotten displaced. Nope. Oh, and Gango, she's just happy. Oh,
I think I might be able to give it a swing. Being a shift manager was my job at one point.
Then
what? Oh no.
what are we waiting for? Get your non-slip shoes ready, cause we're going to Spudsies!
Oh. Oh no.
Spudsies! What are we waiting for? Get your non-slip shoes ready, cause we're going to Spudsies!
I know, non-slip shoes. Spudsies. Nice.
I guess I should get into manager mode and get us all kicked off.
Oh, okay. I hope that the freezer was on before you guys came in. Unless magically the food's gonna be cold. Because that might be that might be a little bit of a health violation there. The graphics are so good, and them just jumping into this leading position, which is really good. But what I'm trying to read is what the note says on the side. What does that say? POS, point of sale. This almost seems off-putting. Yeah. So glad the place is clean as well. It says POS something. I can't read the other letters, unfortunately. Actually, hold on. Also, chat, you should have told me. We don't have the captions on. Oh my goodness. POS login. Yeah. Enhanced to like 4K. It's 1440. That's
I guess I...
Oh, hold on. POS login. User Spud. Code 469674. Nice.
Guess I should get into manager mode and get us all kicked off.
Yes, please. Oh.
And with that out of the way, let's get to work, guys.
Oh no! It looks like I've taken Ragatha and dropped her in the deep fryer.
Jax. Considering that you might still feel pain and all of this stuff, Jax. What the? Ah! That seems unnecessary. Yeah, bro's just bored. Now that's intentional.
No. We can't have anything like that going on around here.
What are you gonna do about it, though?
I mean, okay.
Can't have anything like that going on around here.
What are you gonna do about it, though?
So your employee just put somebody else in danger and caused an incident, accident, probably even death of another member. What would you do as a manager? More than likely, this individual is getting fired on the spot, right? Because ultimately, it's still pushing someone else in there. Call the police, terminate it effective immediately, right? if it was something a little less, we're talking a little bit more about retraining or finding opportunities to, fire and jail time, immediately testing boundaries. Yeah. With him, it's just shit testing, essentially. He's like, let me test your boundaries as an individual, right? Zero urgency. Yeah.
I'm calling upper management.
So
Hello?
Hey, Kane, we're having a bit of an issue
the boss. The ape. Oh.
with the employees, and I was wondering if you could maybe have a punishment waiting for them at the end of the day if they do a terrible job.
Wait, what?
Motivation! My adventures have been missing? Great idea, Gangle! I'll be sure to make something truly awful awaiting your rotten employees.
Oh no.
Why would you do this?
Oh no. Oh no. No one's helping Ragatha out.
It's called a manic episode, and
Rotten employees.
Why would you do this?
it's called a manic episode, and
Rotten employees.
Why would you do this?
it's called a manic episode, and
At least they're aware. Safe to say, you're on point. Oh god, at least they're actively aware. Teaching Kane what punishments are is probably a bad idea. Yeah.
you're getting 3 more seasons. Anyway, Jax, it's your job to set up the drink station, make new coffee and iced tea, and fill the ice cream machine, so get to it.
Well, what I was looking at is bipolar 2, specifically with hypomanic episode, was what I was looking at when I was reading off. Yeah, that's exactly what I was reading, is bipolar 2 with hypomanic episode. Because that's sort of what I had listed for, but considering that they just came on through, they were just like, oh yeah, don't worry, we're having a manic episode. I was like, oh, well, it seems as though I don't need to linger to find out if all the symptoms and stuff are there, considering the fact that we're about to see a lot of shit happen. Yeah, well, that's the question, though. Does she normally have manic episodes or hypomanic episodes, or is this just because of the mask, right? And if it is because of the mask, right, what happens the moment that it comes off, right? Didn't even care for, yeah.
This is really weird.
Ooh, that's still your part of your body. Ooh. Sparkling MPEP. Sure.
What can I get for you today?
Oh, hey, it's Orbs Man. Oh, he's from a previous adventure? Before your time.
What?
Okay, number 57.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Never say you hate the customer while the customer is still here. Oh, we wait until after hours for that?
Oof. Yeah, Orbs Man. But true, also, customer service, you should never state like anything in that regard against a customer, right? You wait until after hours to say, Gangle putting him in his place. I don't think he likes this power dynamic change, right? Because ultimately, he's used to being able to go ahead and boss around Gangle, but now that Gangle's able to boss him around, he's testing boundaries, he's doing all of this stuff to see how far he can get away with stuff. But I don't think... Here's the thing. Someone already in a position like this, you got to be careful, because, yeah... Jax is going to start losing control quite quickly. That's the thing, is working under managers like this, like micromanagers and individuals like this, it might feel like time is taking forever on a shift, right? Because ultimately you're not allowed to be you and to be to get through the day, essentially, right?
Excuse me. Yeah, little jester, I'd like to order the stupid burger. Last time I ordered it here, they forgot to add the sauce that makes you stupid. Don't forget the sauce.
Oh God.
Is that
Don't forget the sauce.
the thing we have?
Yes, I order it all the time. I'm addicted.
Okay.
I'm addicted.
One stupid burger.
Heard you loud and clear.
Oh no. Oh no. All right, we can keep going. Sorry about that. So, stupid burger.
Stupid burger.
Heard you loud and clear.
If a sauce is gonna, if a sauce can make you stupid, where's your PPE? Where's your personal protective equipment? You know, we gotta make. If a sauce can make you doozy and dumb, right? Don't you need some special eyewear? I had a feeling that's where I was gonna go. Exactly. That's an OSHA violation. That is an OSHA violation.
So you're just, like, actually doing the job.
Yeah.
But that's the regard that I'm getting at, right? Is ultimately, doesn't this showcase that Kane has the ability to influence their minds in some capacity? Like introducing drugs, sedatives, or instances like this where they're able to actually come on through and influence someone's capacity to think in any way, shape, or form.
I don't want Kane to punish me.
Kane's not gonna do anything malicious. It's not in his nature.
You really want to find out? The only thing holding Kane back is the fact that he likes us.
True.
I wouldn't push it.
That's rich coming from you.
No.
Hello, Shayla.
No. No. That's so messed up. That is so messed up. It's gummy goo. No.
I'll have a sausage bacon jaffle combo. And the mates here just want 6 hash browns split between them.
Yeah, okay. Hi.
Oh.
You
Pomni. Oh. And Pomni trying to attach, right? Oh. Girl. Oh.
You right, miss?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'll call.
This is one of those things that's definitely gonna hurt her. Unless someone comes through and showcases that, like, hey, this is something we all go through and we all gotta get out of. The thing is, this is probably gonna form an unhealthy attachment because Propinquity, right? She already developed a sense of attachment with Gummy Goo. So more than likely she thinks she knows him, right? But he doesn't know her, clearly. This is the NPC version of him. Yeah.
Call your order when your name's
Ooh.
ready.
I can see this going badly.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I forgot to ask for a kid's meal toy. You're not a kid. Oh, yeah. An adult toy, then. Don't know about that
Pomni!
one, mate.
Hello?
Can I?
Pomni!
I help you, miss?
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi. Do we know each other?
I
Oh.
don't know.
Oh. Pomni! And I'll Pomni be creeping too.
Look, Ragatha, where's Pomni?
Huh? Oh, she's flirting with the gummy guy.
Oh.
She'd rather be with an NPC than with us or something.
Well, that won't do.
Yeah. So it's clear though that, you know, when they were poofed, it's the other one that was T-posing, you know, in episode 2 that comes through, you know. And then also something's clearly wrong with Ragatha, but no one's picking up on it. No one's noticing what's going on. Everyone's everyone's more like in their own matter. Like, look at the burger behind Ragatha. Look at the amount of patties. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 patties. Before it goes on to the next section.
I wish someone would flirt with me.
Oh.
Honey, we need you on the register. Stop weirding the customers out.
But it's
Gummy
gummy goo. Can't the job wait a bit? It's not like this is real.
And next you're gonna say my authority isn't real.
And that's where it all starts coming down for a lot of individuals. The moment that you start questioning their authority, and if they're in positions of management, you start applying a little bit of pressure, employees being a little resistant, all of a sudden the micromanagement starts coming up, the aspects of control start going out the door, right? It becomes one of those instances where they literally start questioning themselves and who they are. You know, look at Gummy's reaction. Yeah.
Not like this is real.
We need you on the register. Stop weirding the customers out.
But it's gummy goo. Can't the job wait a bit? It's not like
Whoa.
this is real.
Gummy Goo was reaching out as well. Hold on. Gummy Goo is reaching out as well. Does that mean that maybe you can trigger some hidden...
Real.
And next you're gonna say my authority isn't real.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Oh,
put away
God.
that breakfast menu because it's lunchtime. All right.
If there's one complaint I have about like some of these fast food establishments is that breakfast ends at like 10:30. Like, dude, I'm like on the weekends, it's the time I'm like trying to get up, you know, like I can't even go out and like get a good breakfast or get one of the complete breakfasts because yeah, I want an all-day breakfast for some of these places.
Right, fellas, it's lunch rush. Get your game faces on.
The mask is tinking. Do not forget to clock out on time. Ugh. Ugh.
Does this count as a bus?
Are you ready to order?
No thanks. I got this bowl of cereal.
Then do you want to hold up the line? Like, if you got a bowl of cereal, do you want to find a place to eat and not hold up the line? Also, these prices are great. $1 for a full stack, 2 iced a mega. The 57.50 whatever seems like a ripoff. 31 cents for meat. Like, hold on.
Well, there's a line of people behind you.
300 cheeseburgers for all my precious spawn.
300. Oh God.
Is that for here?
$70 just pickles.
Can you hold on for just a second?
Lumpy, Skithers, Leathu, leave that poor, pitiful creature alone.
Do all the Gloinks have names?
Of course they do. I love and cherish every Gloink I give birth to.
Oh.
What kind of mother do you think I am?
Then how do you reproduce? I don't mean to go into the questions here, but is there a father figure or... Yeah, hold on. Is there a father figure here? How does that look like?
It's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Oh.
Mother do you think I am?
It's beautiful.
Do you think that Ragatha maybe is trying to find a partner? Wait, hold on. Because in a big way, like, you know, whenever you're high or whenever you're affected in some capacity, sometimes your mask does come off a little bit. You know, a parental figure, you know, a partner, something or someone to make them feel a little less lonely. I wish someone would flirt with me, right? Ooh.
Hey, I just want to wish you a pleasant day.
Oh,
Thanks for eating at
Pomni.
Spudsies.
Have a good one, miss.
Oh, I know. And he looked a little uncomfortable as well, but like, oh. Oh. So I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
Oh, Jax! The bathroom looks like a biohazard and needs a good scrubbing.
Well, I don't know. Shouldn't, like, biohazard crew take care of that?
Oh, Jaxie.
Boy, don't you want to be a model employee?
No, I don't care about any of this.
Well, that doesn't really sound like a can-do attitude to me.
I'm getting one of the best comebacks that I've heard is I'm getting paid to work, not to what is it, like not to smile or not to do something. And it's like, oh, okay. Granted, this was one of the admin like behind the desk type jobs. I'm like, you know what, fair. You know, Gangle's face. Yeah, not. I know Gangle's like really trying to push it. Like, are you sure that you're a Spuds employee?
It's not.
Bad.
I like you better when you're sad.
Oh. Well, that's one of the main things, right? That's how you really start to get the core of someone is you start hearing that over and over again. When you're trying to be a little different than your usual self, you're putting on this mask to try and be happy, to try and take charge, to try and be different. And if people keep pointing out, wow, I like the old you, the new you sucks. What do you think that does to a person? Ouch. Of course. Ouch. Like, yeah.
Well, maybe you just need some more...
Training.
More.
Yep. Oh, God.
Huh?
Hi, welcome to Spudsies. In this video, you're gonna learn the ins and outs of what makes you a good crew member.
They even have a whole reprogram. Yeah, the training videos. Oh God, how did she even have the time to do this? Did she step outside like at some point in time and film this? Like, how did the wait? How did this even come to be, chat? That don't even make sense. Wait, it was just in the background pre-recorded already. Like Clockwork Spudsy, she's doing this live. She's doing this live.
And a valuable asset to the Spudsies Corporation.
When did you make this?
Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want a career in fast food. I want to be a comic artist and eventually launch my own manga-inspired webcomic. And it's cool to have dreams, but you also need to remember that they're completely unrealistic.
Is that your dream? Hold on, is that your dream? Did you want to go ahead and launch a webcomic? And you had to go ahead and wait. Is this a bit of projection here where we're seeing that, you know, what came to be? Yeah, that's a textbook aspect. Very odd, specific.
You need to stop trying.
But a lot of us are told this, though. A lot of us are legitimately told to stop trying. Like, for example, I've been told countlessly, why are you doing YouTube? Why are you doing Twitch, right? You should stop trying. That doesn't do anything. You know, you're never going to grow. You're never going to do anything. And it's like, dude, I'm not doing this for growth. I'm literally doing this because there's a lot of psychoeducation that needs to be put out there that unfortunately only gets capsized in like little TikTok moments about individuals who don't know anything about the field. Really, right? Yeah, who told her this? We need to fight them. Oh, no. There's no money in that. I wanted to do music education. Oh, Evie.
But before we get into all that, first things first. Are you smiling?
No.
No.
Why not?
No.
Why not?
Oh, God. What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Oh, no. Why not? Oh, God.
Wait, nobody can see this, right?
It's time for your employee reevaluation.
What the fuck? What? Okay. They've literally gotten out of control. They have literally gotten out of control now. They let the power get to their head. Smile, dears, you're on camera. They let the power go to their head. Yeah, that's terrifying. And I mean, if you've ever had a boss that's just wanted to control every single aspect of you, your life, who you can and can't control, what you can and can't do. Ooh.
Horseradish sauce.
Hey, we need to start assembling these. I'm running out of room here.
I made like 5 or 6 of them.
Don't you need like 300?
That's 6
Yeah.
out of 300.
Ugh, you are such a grouch. Why
The only one actually working is
are you
Zubul.
always being a grunch?
Gangle, can you help Ragatha? I think she huffed paint or something.
Huffing paint and not waiting until a designated break?
Huffing paint in general, Gangle. Not waiting. What do you mean? Not waiting until a designated break, Gangle. Wait. Gangle, what do you mean? What do you mean until a designated break? You're not even mad that like they were huffing paint. You're mad that it wasn't during a break. Yeah.
I'll be right there.
No, wait. I can do it. I just gotta grab the horseradish sauce.
Horseradish sauce.
I miss my horses.
Here.
We're learning so much about her in the background. So Ragatha has horses. Ragatha is a horse girl. Ragatha is lonely. Ragatha wants people to flirt with her. Considering the horses we've seen this stream, it's been something else. Ragatha like just really wants to connect with people, you know? Oh.
Let me help you with that.
Why are you even the boss anyway? I feel like I'm way more responsible than you.
Well, if you underperform now, you might end up hurt later.
Hurt nothing.
no.
I'm hurt enough. Packages landing on my head, tea parties, dancing lessons.
What's wrong with her?
Tea parties, dancing lessons. So she was forced to do a lot of things that maybe she didn't want to do, right?
You know, a team works much better when we're all giving it 110% instead of, 5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you...
Raggedy Ann commercials. Chat. F in the chat for Gangle here. F in the chat for Gangle here, because honestly,
5.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask. Wait, does that mean to say?
Zubul, help Ragatha with assembly.
Ugh.
I'm gonna go over here now.
Are you kidding me? Gangle, I think the clock's broken.
Oh, Gangle. Oh, Gangle. Oh, Gangle. Now it's starting to, yeah, the mask is starting to feel heavy, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it broken? Or are we the broken ones?
That's a good one, Gangle. Fuck. The pressure, right? The pressure, people not liking you for who you are. You know, all of these things. Oh.
How long has this shift really gone on for? 6 hours? 8? 24? A week?
Gangle.
A year? Does time even move in here? Will we ever go home? Will we ever achieve our dreams? Oh, wait. Yeah, that clock's...
Just all together, like, oh wait, no, that clock is actually broken. Like, I love her. This is great.
Well, that was more info on Gloink reproduction than I ever needed to know.
Can you move?
Yo, Jax.
Oh gosh.
I like hate you, but I don't want you to hate me.
People pleasing tendencies, right? I can have my emotions of you, but I don't want you to go ahead and have any negative towards me. Yeah, Pomni got the info that I wanted, but at the same time, Ragatha here. Oh gosh, it's all falling into place, isn't it?
Is that weird?
You're drunk or something.
Oh yeah.
How you doing?
Everything's been... I'm doing fine.
Wish I could say the same.
Jax, there's dishes back here. You got time to lean, you got time to clean.
God.
Oh.
I'm on it. Later, Pomni.
Hey, an interaction. An interaction. I hate that phrase. An interaction without him being dismissive. And Jax actually reaching out for once. Like, he wasn't dismissive. He didn't come through an attack. Like, just a normal interaction. That is huge. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought even though you had that plastic mask on, the mask is too heavy and inside you're kind of broken, aren't you? You're handling all these symptoms of actually feeling sad because people don't like the new mask that you're wearing, because people don't like the attitude and what it represents, right? The aspect that sometimes for you as an individual coming through with power, you may have gone slightly over because you thought, hey, this is what a true leader should be. But deep down inside, when people are criticizing you, you take it personally and it hurts you. And it hurts the foundation as to what you're trying to build. Yeah, that's a tough one, right? When you step up as, or you think that you're stepping up as a leader, but nobody likes the leader you that you think you are. Oh,
You,
Pomni!
You good?
My comedy mask is usually broken by now.
Right.
We're doing another one of these. Is
Pomni.
the mask not making you happy? Do you have anybody to talk to?
Oh.
Like, in regards to...
I like how Pomni at first is like, oh god, we're doing another one of these, right? Like, hey, this is one of those regularly scheduled events, right? So all of a sudden being like, wait a minute, this is real. What's going on? Like, this is a lot. Yeah. Yeah. She takes up Kinger's roles.
Your issues. I'm sure Ragatha would like to help you out.
Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but after a while it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
Whew. Performative kindness, right? Gingo's so real for that. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's a lot. Ragatha is nice, right? Here's the thing. How many of you have been caught in that role, like Pomni's caught in this role, where you kind of end up being the therapist in your group for some reason? The counselor, where you end up hearing everyone's fucking issues. But the question is, how many people actually show up to your issues? How many people, show up when you're having issues and allow you the opportunity to vent? Why do you offer a lot of your time and whatnot to be there for others? Yeah, a lot of this is setting up your own hard boundaries, in that regard, and being safe, because it can lead to compassion fatigue.
Well, maybe...
Anyway, we can't spend all night out here talking about our feelings. We've got work to do.
No. No, Pomni's even confused by that. Like,
All right, I'm clocking out. This wasn't fun at all. See you all later.
oh. Damn, Jax. Jax 001. Those who clock out early will be reported to upper management and dealt with appropriate disciplinary actions. Jax, even jumping out, right? And I think a lot of us have gone through this. If you've ever exited a tough shift and you're like done with the day, right? He had no control, nothing in there, right? That's a huge turnaround from what's usual for him. So that I can imagine how exhausting. Yeah, we're focusing a lot more on Jax and making him more human, which is nice, right? It's absolutely nice to see.
You know, when Ragatha gets off, I feel like she might need a designated driver.
Why are you asking me? I'm closing tonight.
Oh, no, I meant I'd drive her home.
Oh. I think she gets off in an hour.
Okay, I can stick around until then.
Oh my goodness.
Stick around until then.
Just dissociating there, right? Yeah, look at Gango literally sitting by, time's moving by, and Zubul stepping up and left in the darkness. Yeah, that's rough. Derealization, depersonalization. Well, that's the thing, is sometimes we dissociate, right? We derealize, we escape into our own little headspace because it's easier than having to be 100% present in what's going on, right? That's the real aspect of it, right? How many of you are at work and you're trying your hardest just to get through it? And so you depersonalize, and so you dissociate, and so you do whatever you can in order to not have to deal with everything that's going on. Just let time fly. Maladaptive daydreaming, yeah. Imagine the sense of self, and a lot of individuals might not fully understand what this is, but this might also be a good instance of what some individuals might call the call of the void, right? Where sometimes our own negative thoughts can get so much so that we get thoughts, we get feelings, we get like emotions of, you know, instances coming on through where, you know, you might be getting out of work, right? And you hear, wouldn't it be so much easier if you just walked onto oncoming traffic? Not that you would do it, but you get thoughts like that, right? Or thoughts like, hey, you know what would happen if this or this happened, right? Or this happened, right? Negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts ultimately can end up affecting you, right? And end up affecting the way that you see reality. It's not saying that you're a threat to yourself, right? But it's saying that sometimes you have such a rough day or you have such a rough environment that you start processing these intrusive thoughts as like, you know, they just end up eating away at you, and they end up impacting your everyday routine, your everyday life. So again, it comes through like, oh yeah, right, like, oh my god, like, wouldn't it be easier to just subtract? Like, I'm worthless, I'm useless, I'm worth nothing, right? Man, if I did this, not that you actually inherently want it, right? But sometimes the day it can be so tough that your brain just automatically goes into that aspect to try and process it. Anyway, that's tough. That's so tough and can absolutely destroy an individual.
Hey, you know, I can close for you if you want.
Oh, Pomni.
If you want to get out of here, you can. You don't have to be stuck here alone. I can handle closing.
Pomni, even lifting the burden a little bit.
be okay?
I think so. You should go home and get some rest.
Yeah. Sometimes as a leader, whatnot, people don't understand the amount of pressure that you feel for things to be successful, for things to go right, for 1,001 things. And it can, yeah, she knows the consequences of clocking out early. It can be quite a bit. So I think this is the number one regard, right? Is ultimately a lot of individuals don't know what it's like to be a leader and to have a lot of pressure put on you. And sometimes having like your employees step up and be like, hey, let me take this off your plate for just a bit means so much more than you guys can ever imagine. A lot of people think, like, for example, if like a lot of people think it's easy to manage or to oversee or to get things up and rolling, but it's not. It is a lot of like ups and downs and failure points and opportunities of like, you know, trying to understand others, right? And it's also managing your personal lives, everyone's personal lives. It's a lot of work.
You should go home and get some rest.
Aww.
What a weird day.
Pomni. Even in that, like, that's such a huge response, Pomni. You want to take off the mask? You want to be you? Yes. Yes! You can be yourself. You don't need that mask. Oh. Yo! What the heck? Absolutely amazing. The vibes. Ah. Oh no. Did they just get isekai'd? Wait, did they just legitimately get isekai'd? They were just right there. They were just enjoying themselves. They were just at the peak moment of like, you know, but like, oh, Truck-kun comes out of nowhere.
Alrighty, let's get this performance review out of the way. Overall, pretty productive, made a lot of sales with few customer complaints. Couldn't help but notice, however, that you seem to have cut your own shift short, went a little kooky, and ran out into oncoming traffic. Now,
Kane. Oh no. Oh no, Kane. Even with the motivational posters you have back there, the hang in there.
being in a position of power like this, you could offload the blame to one of your employees and avoid the dock on your score. What do you think?
No, that was my responsibility.
Oh, Kango.
I just cracked under the pressure, I suppose.
Oh.
Well, that's gonna knock your overall score down to a B+. How's that sound?
Oh.
Speechless. I can't say I blame you. Not every executive is as forgiving as me. And that's it for the reviews. You have yourself a nice day.
Wait, did everyone get a B+? Hold on.
Not every executive is as forgiving as me.
Wait, Kinger got an A+ and he was bull riding? Hold on. Kinger, the A+ yeah, not everyone, chat. Not everyone. Look at Kinger go. Oh my goodness, Kinger. Bro was in the horse race for real. Kinger was having the time of his life. Oh.
And that's it.
How did Zubul get a B plus when Zubul went above and beyond? Like, legitimately, Zubul went above and beyond and like helped stay after and helped clean and like, what? Was about to ask, yeah. Didn't Zubul do so much? Well, he doesn't like them. So she's getting a B plus. Sounds about right. It sounds about right.
For the reviews, you have yourself a nice day.
Oh. The computer again. CNA. Chat. What does that mean? And then the little circus item on his desk. Wait. Who is this modeled off of? Yeah, they weren't smiling. They're not smiling. That's a very suspicious looking desk. Very teapots everywhere. Teapots everywhere. With the little circus on the side, their little personality.
I am such a good. I am such a good.
We presume King. Oh.
Hey, what are you all the way out here for?
I messed everything up.
No.
The mask didn't work. And now I don't think anybody wants to talk to me anymore.
I still like talking to you. Look, the new mask was a bust. So what?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find something that works eventually.
Oh.
I don't deserve a friend like you.
Well, you've got one. Now, come on over and hang out with the rest of us. Bring your art too. I always like seeing what you draw.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
I always like seeing what you...
What is your drawing? Chat, anybody got a close-up of the drawing here?
Seeing what you draw.
Zubul's great. Zubul's amazing. Oh my goodness. What an episode, chat. What an episode. Let me back it up, because maybe we could see a little bit. Oh! Chat, look! That's like one of my Japanese anime! So the art rejection was a projection, yeah. The art rejection was a projection then. Oh my goodness, chat. It's moments like this that really make the show stand out, you know?
I don't deserve a friend like you.
Well, you've got one. Now, come on over and hang out with the rest of us. Bring your art too. I always like seeing what you draw.
Gangle, you need to succeed. Oh. What would you rate this episode out of 10, chat? For me, this was awesome. This was such an awesome episode. Such a wonderful opportunity to truly connect with what's going on and learn a little bit more about Jax and the characters. Yeah, this is a wonderful episode. You know, Gangle out of 10, exactly. Not enough pickles out of 10. 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So what's your favorite episode then? If you guys don't mind me asking. Like, what is your guys' favorite episode? 9 because previous episode exists. Yeah, the previous episode was phenomenal in of itself, right? But I think episode 3 at the moment for me takes the cake, considering the very humanistic perspective of Kinger, right? And how we really got that human element for them to connect with one another. And then like on this one, my goodness. Out of all of them, right? 3 and 4, Evie. Oh, this one really touched home, right? And it humanized Gango a little bit more. Also brought in a little bit more humanistic elements towards Jax as well. Like Jax is not just gonna be dismissive or whatnot. There's a whole purpose behind them, right? And they have this huge aspect where control seems to be a major factor for them. What that control may look like or be like, well, then that's what I'm curious to see. But with that being said, let's listen to the ending and I'll give my final thoughts. 3, 5, and 6 are kind of tied. Really? They're all so good. Oh. I love the music though. Well, it's a fantastic episode. It is a fantastic Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, and all my non-binary friends, did you learn something tonight? I hope you guys did. I hope you maybe took away a little bit more of an analysis on each of the characters and maybe took some good insights away from them. I always have a ton of fun with all of you here. I always find this to be absolutely phenomenal to be here and, you know, have you guys come on board and join us for this. Every Sunday is the amazing Digital Circus Sundays. Come and join us. Make sure to leave that like, comment, subscribe, sub, have Ko-Fi, have all of that stuff. It means the world. It helps us keep getting some newer and better equipment and stuff. But absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, all my non-binary friends, take care of yourself, please. Know that the world may be a tough place from time to time, but you don't have to go through it alone. We do have the Discord there to help you guys out. And of course, please, I know it feels like a mental health PSA. It really, really does. Seek professional help in your area. There are telehealth aspects available for you. I'm a psychologist. I'm not your psychologist. I'm just here to go ahead and analyze the characters, analyze the environment, and have a good time with all of you. So please have a fantastic night. Be safe, everyone, and I will see you all here, hopefully next Sunday. Bye, YouTube.